general election, and then that was my first general election as the leader of the Conservative Party, and that gave me an election which then provided me a public mandate to lead the country as Prime Minister, where before I simply had the mandate of my party, of the MPs elected in 2017.
And how do you feel about if you could have a different job? Would you change? I should say, like, I know over here there's tons of jobs. How are you working on getting people jobs, and how are you dealing with our corona, and how are you dealing with the jabs? And
there's just been a budget in the last week. So my Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, has drafted a budget to put to Parliament, which would state what taxes need to be changed and what bits of government spending need to be changed, based particularly on the situation that we've seen in the last year, which has had a dramatic effect on the UK. We in my government like to claim that it's been a dramatic effect on the UK. Though of course the truth is that there hasn't been a great shortage in tax revenues and tax receipts. It's simply been a shortage of output from public services, and also the sheer amount of money that we've had to spend on projects to better to improve our fight against the COVID pandemic. It's been claimed, although this may be an erroneous claim, that my government spent £37 billion in the last year, just more than half the cost of the International Space Station, on a track and trace system that can anonymously track people's smartphones when they come close to each other. This does sound very, very what would you call it? It does sound very authoritarian and like we are attempting to track people's exact locations. That's not the case. We've simply had an app endorsed by the National Health Service, which advises people what they can do in the given situation of the pandemic at the time, and given what area they're in, and then if they come into Bluetooth range of another device, if they come within 2 meters range of another device using the app, then it informs a system, and if that system tracks one person who can report that they've had symptoms of COVID, that they've tested positive for COVID, then it alerts everybody who has been near that person and everyone who has been near the people they've been near, etc., etc., etc. You see how it works. Of course, a system like this actually costs only about £2 million to institute in some other countries, or nearly $2 million. But in the case of Britain, it has cost a great deal more, certainly exceeding around 3 billion, maybe 4 billion. Perhaps I'll never actually go into the correct figures.
And Mr. Prime Minister, I just wanted to say that the last question that I had was, I forgot the question. The question that that I had for you was I'm trying to think of another question. You've answered all my questions.
You may ask me another question regarding jobs, because you had quite a string of questions there. I can I can answer any more questions on jobs and employment.
One that is the question that I did have, and I appreciate that. Mr. Prime Minister, as you know, I'm a big fan of you and a big fan of the UK. What is the first step into moving to the United Kingdom, and how would I go about that, since you are our PM leader, one of the greatest leaders of all time? As you know, you're great, but what's the first step into moving to the United Kingdom, if so?
Well, you would require a visa, since you are coming from a country which with whom we have a visa immigration agreement. I believe you would only otherwise be able to stay up to, I believe, 45 days on a tourist visa. I can't quite remember that detail. But
how could you not know that? How could you not know that? You're the Prime Minister. You're supposed to know these things.
It's not my department. That's P.T. Patel's department, the Home Office. She has brought in quite a strict immigration regime, as there is a lot of contention over immigration to the UK, and who we're allowing to move here and live here. So if you are to move from a country with whom, or area of the world where we have only a visa-based agreement, you would have to either expect to marry a partner who with whom you share an annual income of more than £36,000 or £38,000. If you are coming here to work, then you would require a job in the UK, for which you would be able to prove an income of more than £36,000. Or there are certain concessions from universities and other academic institutions, or research institutions, or religious institutions as well. But yes, the general threshold has been, for most people moving here, you would have to be prepared to work in a job paying more than £36,000. Of course, this does put a bit of a tricky situation, for the fact that we need nurses in the UK. We still would wish to. We do essentially import many nurses from all across the globe, particularly from the EU and from Commonwealth nations, and yet the lower pay grades for a nurse tend to be under £30,000 a year. So you can see where the difficulty lies. I would put the question to Priti Patel, but I expect she may be prepared to comment.
Are you ever going to travel to the U.S. to see us, to see the president? And
well, it will have to depend on the end of, or when the end of this pandemic comes, and when things are back to some semblance of normality and ability to of course, international travel is still hassle-free relatively at this time between quite a few countries, but to the US, I believe there would be. I think a lot of things have had to be put on hold for the moment. But of course, I'm on the blower, as we say here in the UK, to President Biden at least once a week, and it just about makes up for the lack of one-to-one.
I love it. I love it, Drew. I love it. It's great. It's amazing. Everybody, this is a good friend of mine, Drew. He is a Boris Johnson impersonator. You guys can catch him on Cameo. You guys can also catch him on Instagram, which is Fauxbojo, as you can see on his shirt there.
Yes.
His voice actually.
Fauxbojo. It means fake Boris Johnson. But they call him Bojo. They call me Bojo in the
For anybody that has questions for him, feel free to reach out to him. His voice actually is spot on. He's super great. And his voice his voice is actually, that is his normal voice. So but Mr. Prime Minister, it has been an honor. And it's been a privilege to talk.
Yes, I do recommend that your viewers reach out to me mainly on Facebook and Instagram. It's much easier for me to give responses on there. But yes, you can book me for Cameo. Book me on Cameo right now. Bookings are well, you'll see on my page.
Do you prefer them to write a letter to the White House, or do you prefer them to reach out through social media?
To number 10. Number 10 does have its own social media page, but it generally won't take feedback directly there. It's much better to. I would expect that generally from abroad, it's possible you can write correspondence to number 10 Downing Street, and I'm sure you'll be able to find a postal address on the web somehow. But in Britain, we generally address political concerns to individual MPs. So I would normally only give direct answers to the concerns of my constituents in Uxbridge and South Ruislip, and other MPs would have to answer queries for other people on most occasions.
Well, we appreciate your time, Mr. Prime Minister, and it's been an honor to speak with you and talk with you. And we hope to see.
Thank you. As I say, feel free to your audience welcome to message me through Facebook and Instagram. That's my name on there.
So it's Faux. How do you pronounce it?
Fauxbojo.
Fauxbojo. So guys, make sure that you when this video is uploaded, make sure you guys follow Drew on all of his social media pages. I will list them below. It's been an honor, Drew. It has been an honor to speak with you as Prime Minister, and I will be sure to talk with you relatively soon.
Many thanks, Anna.
All right. Talk to you in a bit.
Take care.
Thank you very much.